How do you feel about the fact that you're here, that Bill and your counselor see that alcohol, it may be a problem?
Well, I just, you know, I don't believe that. I mean, I go home and have a few drinks every night. I can't buy into that. I mean, there may have been a couple of times where I had, you know, a couple extra drinks, but by and large, I mean, that's not my problem. My problem is my wife, the pressure I have at work, my kid. I mean, that's, you know, I'm stressed. I got reasons for being stressed, and I go, and the only thing I've got to relax me is a few drinks when I go home. And that's all you know. I mean, you know, maybe a couple of times a year at special occasions, maybe I have more to drink, but it's not like my drinking's out of control. I mean, most of the time I go home, have a few beers, and that's it. My wife nags me about that, too.
We are now talking about alcohol, as the client tells me why it's not a problem. I listen carefully to his logic, which helps me understand the structure of his defenses, particularly denial and rationalization. The alcoholic becomes locked into a distorted system of alcoholic thinking. He or she denies any problem with alcohol and then explains why drinking is necessary in a way that allows the drinking to be maintained.
Thanks for seeing me on short notice, but I had to see you.
What's going on?
Oh, last night I went on this rampage. Since we've had these sessions, it's been real easy for me to cut back on drinking. I cut back, and it's been fine. And then last night, I started drinking. I don't know, something set me off the office. I think Bill said, you know, went back to the old stuff again, and my wife said something that ticked me off, and I started drinking, and there was something inside me that said, stop drinking. You can stop drinking now, but I kept drinking. And I started yelling, and I started screaming, and my daughter Annie came into the room, and she was watching television. I told her to turn off the goddamn television set, and she wouldn't turn off the television set. And I said, turn off the set, and she turned around, and I said, give me the remote control, and she threw it at me. And I started yelling and screaming at her, and I kept screaming and yelling at her, and I followed her into her room, and she shut the door, and then I heard her crying in the other room. And she started crying. I said, let me in. I want to talk to you. And she wouldn't let me in. And she started crying. She said, please, Daddy. She said, please, Daddy, don't yell at me anymore. I stood by the door, and it was locked, and I could hear her crying. I said, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do this. And then I realized I'd become my father. Everything he did to me, I was doing to my kids.